I know it's a year late and all, but hey, better late than never, am I right? Now this review did not just come out of the blue. There's a reason why I'm doing this review right now. Well, actually, two reasons. The first is because I owe you guys. I kind of hinted that I was going to do this review for Revisit Month last year, but I never got around to doing it. But hey, now it's finally here and you guys can come see it. The second and the main reason why I'm doing this video is because I recently did a top 10 list over on my friend and bae for life, Sloan the Female Otaku's channel, counting down my top 10 favorite tsunderes, featuring a certain tsundere that will be featured in this review. Want to know what number she is? Well, be sure to click this link right here to go check out that top 10 list over on Sloan the Female Otaku's channel, and maybe even subscribe to her channel. Or if you want to watch this entire review and then go see it, I'll put a link to the video at the end of this review. So, without further ado, let's get to the review! Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here with my long-awaited re-review of the anime Toradora. So Toradora follows Takasu Ryuji, a high school boy with a nice personality, but a mean-looking face, which causes people to mistakenly think that he's a delinquent of some sorts and keep their distance from him, even though that is far from the truth. He encounters a short, quick-tempered girl by the name of Asaka Taiga, known around the school as the Palm-Top Tiger for her ferocity and shortness. He first encounters her in the hallway when he accidentally bumps into her because he just didn't see her. She's so short and he's so tall, so how could he possibly see her? Which causes her to punch him under the chin, which in my opinion is still one of the greatest first encounters in an anime I've ever seen. And then next, when she accidentally puts a love letter in his book bag, mistakenly thinking that it was somebody else. And later that night, while Taiga sneaks into Ryuji's house to take back the letter she accidentally put into his bag, he not only discovers that the two of them are in fact neighbors, but also that Taiga has feelings for his best friend, Yusaku. Upon learning this, he discloses to Taiga that he in fact has feelings for her best friend, Minori. That's when the two of them came up with the brilliant idea of helping each other out by hooking the other with their best friends. And so the plan to hook each other up with their best friend commences. Will they actually get with the people that they want to be with? Or will something change and they might start forming feelings for somebody else? Who knows? Now before we get to the meat of this review, there's a misconception that I need to clear up right now. I never hated Toradora. I know many of you probably thought I did because of how harsh and overly critical I was of the series over the years, especially when it came to how it started off very comedic and then became very melodramatic by the end. But that didn't mean that I hated the anime. There's a lot of good things to it that I thoroughly enjoyed. I liked the comedy, I liked the characters, and I thought the story was riveting in many parts. I just thought that it was an okay anime, and I did not like the shift in tones. It was very distracting to me, so it kind of came off as I resented the anime, but that's not the case. That is far from the case. I thought it was just a decent anime. But I kept thinking to myself, maybe I was wrong about the anime. Maybe I need to give it another chance to see whether or not it actually is a great romance anime like everyone was saying. So I decided to rewatch it for Revisit Month. Never got around to it, but hey, here we are now. And after rewatching Toradora, which I saw the English dub this time around, and we'll talk more about that a little later, what do I think of it? Well, let's get into the review, shall we? The best thing this anime offers are its characters. All of them are great, from the main characters to the supporting characters, with the main characters having excellent, fully realized character arcs. From Ami's arc dealing with accepting and expressing her true self, to Yusaku's arc of heartbreak, responsibility, and striving to better himself, they are all well told and quite captivating. The best character arcs in my opinion, which also focused on my favorite characters in the anime, is first Yusaku's arc, as I mentioned moments ago. I especially love the way that this arc ends. It's realistic, very bittersweet, but also ambiguous enough to where there could be a happy ending to this character's story. The second best arc, which resonated the most with me, was Minori's arc. Minori was the character I loved empathized and related to the most in this anime, because Minori was the type of person that I was in high school. Whenever I would see her on screen, I would see myself when she was acting all overly positive and energetic and eccentric with a big old smile on her face, but deep down she was hurting inside because she couldn't express her true feelings out of fear of hurting somebody else close to her, or worst of all, hurting herself. And I loved how she kind of got over this hurdle and started expressing her true self and realizing that it's just not gonna help her grow as a person if she can't express her true self because she's trying to protect other people. She has to be who she is. She can't have help from somebody else, and she can't help somebody else. She has to only help herself. I loved this. It was really powerful to see her kind of accept all of that and change as a person. And I found her to be the most dynamic. Not only was she very cheerful, but she was really deep. And in my honest opinion, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, she should have been the one to end up with Ryuji, in my personal opinion. From the way that they set this up, it seemed like these two just would have made a great couple. I know that everyone loves Taiga and Ryuji, and they do work well as a couple, but I personally thought that their friendship was stronger than a relationship. The relationship should have been Ryuji and Minori. And speaking of those two, let's talk a bit more about Ryuji and Taiga, shall we? As individual characters, both are strong, likable, and dynamic with their own standout personalities. Ryuji being the obsessive clean freak, and Taiga being, of course, the hot-headed tsundere. And I really like how they explore the characters' emotions and feelings and inner turmoils, especially in episodes that focus on their relationship with their parents. Like, there's this whole arc dealing with Taiga reuniting with their father, and you learn a lot about not only Taiga's relationship with her father, but also how Ryuji always wanted a father, and if he had the chance to meet him again, he would want to establish some sort of relationship, giving us a lot of insight and depth on Ryuji's character, which I thought was fantastic. Not only that, but we get a lot of insight and depth with Taiga as well. We kind of learned that through her relationship with the father, it led to her tsundere-like behavior. But as a duo, they're even greater and stronger as characters, as they have impeccable chemistry with each other. They play off of one another so well. Whether it be a comedic situation or a dramatic heart-to-heart, you feel a connection with them. And they understand each other to such a level that nobody else could, being two characters who are constantly misunderstood by everyone around them. But both of them can understand each other. They have a kinship, and the chemistry is just undeniable. And although deep down in my heart I wanted Ryuji and Minori to end up together, I am very satisfied that Ryuji chose Taiga and that they ended up together. They do have a very cute, sweet, and touching relationship. The supporting characters did their job pretty well. They supported the main characters and provided some comic relief, especially the teacher in the anime. Oh my god, every time she showed up, I was laughing my ass off. I loved her reactions whenever she would see her students living their youth, and she's like, oh, I'm so old and single, but I won't let it defeat me. She always made me laugh. She was a treat in this anime. Now, the story of Toradora, if we're to be completely honest, is pretty predictable and straightforward. You kind of know all the beats of the story, and you know how it's all going to wrap up. But that doesn't stop it from being entertaining, well-told, and engaging. And for an anime that I have seen before, I was fully invested into what was going on. I could not take my eyes away from the screen because I wanted to see how the story was going to unfold and whether or not I would notice certain things about the story I didn't notice before. And I was right. There is one thing I did not notice before that I notice now, is that all the stories, as much as they're their own stories, are all tied together by one centralized theme of running away. Whether it be literally running away, like characters running away from their homes or running away from other people, or figuratively, like them running away from their responsibilities, running away from their future. It was all very well done, and I liked how all the stories were all connected in some way, shape, or form. And now it's time to touch upon the aesthetic and technical aspects of this anime, starting off with the animation, which is pretty good. JC Staff did a good job with the movements of the characters, the color scheme, and the character designs. I cannot say that it's the greatest animation I've seen for a romance anime, but at least it wasn't god-awful like some romance anime I've seen in the past. I really love the music in this anime. Particularly the first opening theme, which is just so catchy and poppy, and I love the colors, I love the animation for the opening. But also the musical score that accompanied this anime. Very somber and melancholic in tone, yet surprisingly touching in a positive way. I didn't expect to feel kind of happy listening to these somber songs, but they just sounded really good and they stood out to me the most. And finally, the voice acting. Now, when I first saw Toradora back in 2011, there was no English dub available for this anime yet. So I watched the Japanese version, and I love the Japanese version. The voice actors and actresses did a stellar job voicing their characters and putting a lot of emotion into their performances, especially the woman who voices Taiga in the anime. She was perfect for that role. She could pull off the short, quick-tempered tsundere in flying colors. Whether it be Taiga or Luis, she's just excellent for those roles. But since I was re-watching the anime again, I thought, you know what? I already like the Japanese version, why don't I give the English dub a try if there is one? And as fate would have it, Crunchyroll had the English dub, which is really surprising to see Crunchyroll having the English dub over the Japanese version, but I digress. So I watched the English dub, and I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised at how really good the English dub for Toradora is. Like, insanely good. And this is coming from a studio that isn't even known for making English dub, NIS America. For one of their first English dubbed animes, they did a stellar job, and they picked some really good people to voice their characters. They fit the role. Now, unfortunately, I do have a couple issues with Toradora. Not as much as I had before, but they still need to be pointed out. The biggest one being is obviously the tonal shifts. I still had a major problem with it, and I'll explain why. The first few episodes did have a very good balance of comedy and drama. It was very well put together. But in latter episodes, the drama overpowered the comedy to the point where it just became too melodramatic. I wanted a good balance where they would still focus on the comedy aspects while also shining a light on the drama, like in the first few episodes. But after about, I think it was episode 13 is when I started noticing it, they started focusing more on that drama and it just started annoying the shit out of me. I'm like, come on, you are a comedy drama. Let's have a good balance between the two. That's all I ask. Another issue I found happens in the last two episodes where we actually meet Taiga's mom. I was kind of upset that we didn't really get to understand a little bit more or even get more scenes with Taiga's mom. I mean, shit, if Taiga's father can have 3 episodes sort of dedicated to him, I think the mom could have a little bit more focus. We could have learned a little bit more about her and what her relationship with Taiga was like. Sure, we get some hints to it a little bit, but not enough to really get a full grasp about what her relationship with the mom was like. Was it strained? Was it a solid one? Did she just kind of not get along with her mother? Again, not really clear what it was like. So overall, besides a handful of problems I found here and there, I actually found myself liking Toradora more now than I did back then. I understand what the anime was trying to do, and the drama wasn't as bad as I remembered it. In fact, I thought it was quite effective for the most part. I was really invested in the story. I was invested in these characters. I love the music. It is a very well put together romance drama anime that I will say is one hell of an anime, and one that I would definitely recommend that you guys go check out. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Toradora. I would love to know what you guys thought about this anime as well. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it one of your favorite romance anime of all time? Or is it really boring, dull, stale, you didn't like Ryuji and Taiga's relationship? And do let me know, who is your favorite tsundere relationship in an anime? Comment below, let me know, and please go check out my video over at Sloan the Female Otaku's channel, counting down the top 10 tsundere in anime. Please go check it out. Again, there's a link up here and a link at the end of this video, and do stay tuned. I will be reviewing Alien Covenant coming your way real soon, and I got a special video coming out your way to kind of promote an event that I'm going to be at on May 26th to the 29th, so do stay tuned for that. And as always, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic Crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about a second, the tsundere who doesn't care if you watch my videos. I didn't make this video for you guys. BAKA! as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
Yes.